don't have to ask our first typical question, Darren, because we know who you are and why we care.
Yeah, right.
Because we've talked previously. But in this case, kind of a special edition podcast episode where we want to talk about the award that we won. Not to mention that we won an award, but in the Georgia world, there is USTA Atlanta, there's USTA Georgia, and then outside of that, we don't care. So there's Georgia and Atlanta. So Darren, you are the executive director of USTA Georgia, which means you had some hand in the fact that the GoTennis podcast got an award this year, 2025. We won the Mark Kaplan Award. I want to talk about who was Mark Kaplan. Actually, I want to learn about who was Mark Kaplan and then potentially why we won this award. But I want to start with the awards in general. Can you tell us about the USTA Georgia awards from this past year?
Sure. Well, thanks for being here, guys, and congrats on. I had to take my glasses off. It's legitimate. You are on this piece of paper, so way to go. But no, USTA Georgia, at the state organization, we have annual awards every year. They tend to vary between 25 and 28. It's a lot. Various categories, junior term of the year, captain awards, JTT, high school. In your case, the media excellence. We actually have a couple awards that we announced later. We'll be announcing in a few weeks our major awards, the Ruth Reiner-Lay Award for Lifetime Achievement, which is the highest honor our organization bestows upon anyone. So that'll be coming out shortly. And then unfortunately, when John Callan passed, one of the many ways we've tried to honor him is with the John Callan Excellence and Leadership Award, which goes to a community staff leader around the state. So those are still coming. But these awards, we have a volunteer awards committee led by Shannon Rowe, who's the chair, not only of our awards committee, but she's actually now the chair of USTA Southern Awards Committee, so she's busy. We have a group of volunteers across the state that take a look at all the nominations that are done and select the winners in each category. And obviously, whoever nominated you wrote it up very nicely. I'm sure completely truthful. And you were selected in the Mark Kaplan Media Excellence Award category. So congratulations on that recognition.
Thank you. Yeah, we like following up with the awards. We usually do more of talking about other people winning an award than we get to talk about ourselves winning the award. And like I said, this is going to kind of be a special episode. It won't be that long. Just want to focus on this. But from an awards standpoint, how does that selection happen? Meaning this also is, what's the word? It grows into USTA Southern, meaning we have a chance to potentially win a larger award?
You would have had it. Unfortunately, they've already announced it, and you aren't the Southern winner. I apologize for that. I had nothing to do with that, of course. But no, there are some of our awards are what we call advancing awards, which means they go advance to Southern, and then Southern committee looks at those and decides. Basically, they're pulling from the 9 state winners, if every state offers that category. Some of the states, sometimes they don't offer a certain category. We actually don't offer every single category that Southern has as well. That's just a state decision. So, yeah, there are certain awards, including this one, you advance to Southern. There are some that aren't, that just stay within the state. But still, great accomplishment for you all. I'm not sure who won the Media Excellence Award for Southern. I probably should know that off the top of my head. But certainly, I'm sure you were considered. But, let's not minimize the importance of winning at the state level. That's what really matters.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about. And Bobby and I, so I do have a question for Bobby, which is unscripted a bit here. We certainly didn't get into this for awards. I'm not sure why we got into this. Why did we start this podcast in the first place?
I don't know. We just talked one day. I said, we should do a podcast. We've known each other forever. We have these conversations about how we're going to save the world, and let's try to save at least tennis. Our goal was to make it cool again, make tennis cool again. So that was the big motivation behind this.
It was, and it was kind of interesting. It didn't really start out journalistic in any way, and just the fact that it was media was itself. But in this case, it was kind of interesting to see that we won an award, because it isn't anything we expected, and that this isn't the humble brag. This isn't us saying we're humbled and honored by winning. It really isn't anything on our radar, as you can tell by our audio quality. We're not really working too hard to try to win any quality awards either. But Darren, tell us about Mark Kaplan, because this award, most of these awards have names based on somebody they're honoring?
Sometimes, yes. And this is one of them. Mark Kaplan was a longtime director of communications at USTA Southern. Unfortunately, he passed before I got here to Georgia. I have yet to hear anybody speak negatively about Mark Kaplan. I mean, if you talk to the folks that are in the communications world, people like Ron Chaffee at Southern, those types, and Doug Walker, who's won this award a few times, one of the great writers in our state in the Rome area, they remember Mark very fondly for his passion of trying to promote the message of tennis in all sorts of different forms. Obviously, when he was probably on staff at Southern, there really wasn't anything like a podcast. There might not have been a lot of YouTube or internet, so it was more of a written promotion and marketing. But that's who our award's named after, and as well as Southern, just because it makes sense, right? He worked for Southern as a way to honor him. Some of the awards are named after folks that we've honored. Some of them, have naming rights. We have naming rights for some of our awards. People, like to name certain awards for various reasons. Sometimes to honor a family member, honor someone in an organization. We have, some sponsor awards like First Horizon Bank, who's a big sponsor of our sponsors, a big Signature Tennis Courts, Mike, for tennis directors. A lot of the awards are named, but this was one of them that is very intentionally named to honor Mark, and his name will never come off this award. It'll always be in his honor.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have to be dead to be named, or can we have the Bobby Schindler Award like before?
No, I'm looking at our awards. There are a few names that you guys know that I know are still alive. Randy Stevens, Jerry Baskin are two of them. Al Parker, there's another one. I mean, Al Parker, clearly makes sense. He should be our junior player of the year, right? He's a junior, greatest junior in history of our sport. So that was an easy one. No, you don't have to be. There are a few living names on this list, and hopefully they'll be around for quite some time. But unfortunately, there are a few that are in memory as well. This would be one.
There we go. We got hope, Bobby.
Well, Mike's on it, so Mike doesn't want to be. He's still above ground, so that's a good thing. With
right? Yeah.
Director of the year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to tell him why I haven't been nominated. I just gave him more business. Oh, Mike, we're gonna have to talk.
Yeah, the Signature Courts Affiliate of the Year goes to Bobby Schindler. Gotta love that.
Well, you guys could fit into a few categories, but obviously media excellence is the right one. I mean, things have evolved over the years, and I applaud you for doing this. This is keeping the good word of the sport, and I think you created a decent following. I know I watch your stuff. Critique it, of course. No, I'm just kidding. You guys do a great job. So obviously somebody noticed that, nominated. The committee felt you were worthy, and hence why we're talking today. So congrats.
Love it. Well, whoever it was, we say thank you, because it's one of those things that we might never know who actually nominated us, because I will admit we didn't self-nominate. I will also say we're not above self-nominating. In this case, it wasn't.
The first thing I thought of, because I have a look at these, I'm like, oh, he actually didn't self-nominate. Way to go.
I don't know how to self-nominate, so I wouldn't.
We know it's not Bobby self-nominating, right? But we, like we said, we weren't in it for that, and we definitely don't feel like we're worried about quality in the awards. So thankfully, in this case, hopefully it's content, and that's what we're going for: is great content, having great conversations, moving tennis forward, making it cool again, as Bobby says. But also, even all the other racket sports, there's a lot we're trying to do. Trying to talk to as many people as we can. We've expanded outside. We started as the Atlanta Tennis Podcast. It's funny, Bobby, that was less than a year ago that we were still saying Atlanta Tennis Podcast. And now we've expanded out. So maybe next year, Southern's in play, Bobby. We'll go for it.
Well, we've been very fortunate, too, getting some great guests. And, we're trying to continue to raise the bar on that. But it helps to have a good conversation with good folks. So everybody who's been a guest, thank you for being a part of this and getting us to where we're doing this and having a good time doing it.
And do it without our guests.
Like the Atlanta Tennis Podcast, that's ATP, right? Did you create that?
We knew
yourself,
that. Yeah. We weren't sure if that was helping or hurting in the grand scheme of things, but
the trademark on that, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's as far as we're taking it. Exactly.
We weren't picking that fight. I like it. All right, Darren, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. We just wanted to say thank you to you specifically, and then talk about the awards itself and share with everyone without saying we think we're great. But in this case, we are humbled and honored, we will say.
So are we going to see you? We give out all of our awards at our community tennis development workshop in early February. I assume we're going to see hopefully both of you there.
In this case, at least one of us will be there. If I can't talk Bobby into showing up, I'm sure my wife and I will be there.